classes and methods. We are not getting means we have to verify the setup. Good question. Except classes and methods. We already defined this except class and method. We are not except methods we specified, but we are not assigned to business unit. See, that's why we are not. Let me explain you the problem. Just 1 minute. So in account receivables module, when we are working with the transactions, let's say our transaction is created, completed successfully, accounts also generated. Let's see that manage transactions. Moment when we choose manage transactions, select our business unit and click search button, or choose the date also. At least a couple of fields are required here for data searching. We can see that the transaction number is 1. This is the transaction source and transaction type and class customer. And what is the transaction number? It's 1. Transaction number is 1, and this is our amount 1000. This is our amount 1000 here. Okay. Now, when I go to actions menu, view balance details, we can find how much amount we have received so far from the customer. It's showing that 0. It's balance complete, $1,000. And we can also find like any refunds we have done against this invoice, any adjustments have you done, any bills, receivables, and discounts we have applied for this invoice, we can find. At this point of time, we do not have any other balance details except this original account here, $1,000. Okay. Now the invoice number is 1. Now the invoice number is 1. Let's try to collect the amount from the customer. For that, what we do, we go to receivables, accounts receivable. There are 2 types of receipts. We can see that one is standard receipt, another one is miscellaneous receipt. Standard, another one is a miscellaneous. 2 types of receipt. Standard receipt is regular. Miscellaneous, where you without customer also, without entering the customer information or customer transaction like invoice information, we can get this miscellaneous. We'll look into that later. Now the receipt type is standard. And now here, when I try to get receipt method is nothing but in which method you are getting this information. Showing that it's blank. We created receipt method, but it's not populated here. What could be the reason over here? Now, receipt method, when it's not coming, choose the business unit here. Choose this business unit and find out whether the receipt method is associated or not. It's a setup, right? So right now we are using transactional user, means employee user. We do not have the access FSM environment. Let's log into the applications here. Who is having the access to FSM? Now I wanted to verify why this receipt method is not populated for our business unit while clicking the amount from the customer, right? Let's go to financials, and we are searching for receipt classes and methods. Receipt classes and methods. What was that we created? Gensor receipt class and method we created. What is meant by receipt class and receipt method? It's basically while collecting the amount from customer, is it manually you wanted to create this receipt? How about remittance? Nothing but deposit in the bank. How about clearance method? Is it directly or manual for clearance? After, for example, we deposited check in the bank today, and is it going for auto clearing and update in our system, or do we need to do it manually? So that's how we are supposed to do this here. So in that scenario, what we will do that here, while creating the receipt method, we'll choose creation method, remittance method, after that clearance method. We will specify the name, what name you would like to have for your receipt method and printed name, from which date it should be effective. And here we will be specifying bank. Here we will choose the business unit, which bank account you would like to go for deposit. Let me check any bank we have. Business unit. Choose the business unit, and changes the business unit will remove all of your entries. Do you want to continue? Yes. And choose the bank which is associated with your business unit. And again, we got an issue here. We do not have any bank for our BU, but we have to verify. For this business unit, we do not have any bank. Let me cross check. Let me cancel. Because when we say that the check needs to be deposited, we have to specify which bank, right? What we do is, let's go to bank account. Banks will be configuring at 3 levels, right? Bank, bank branch, and bank accounts. I'm selecting the legal entity that we are going to choose here, US1 legal entity. Click search button. In US1 legal entity, we got following accounts. I don't think so we have our bank account. If you have any existing bank, not a problem. For example, PwC, ICICI Bank is there. I want to use this bank account for my business unit. We can do it. Let's go for it here. So when we are working with this bank account, it's one of the incompatibility with the browser because of vision instance. General, when we are working in the real time in the projects, there won't be any problem with the page. Okay. So let's zoom it to 50%. And now I'm going to assign this bank. This bank account is already associated with our legal entity. But within the legal entity, I wanted to assign this to my business unit. What is your business unit? Gensar business unit. Gensar business unit. That's okay. And also enable, this is required for receivables module. But all we want to use this for payables, enable this for payables also. And receivables, already it is configured for payroll. Now it's not a problem. Let me save this transaction. This bank account, we can use it for this legal entity. Also, you can use it for the business units. Let me make the zoom as 100% as per our requirement. Let's go for save and close. Okay. So this is how we can go for either create. We already talked about banks setup in our previous sessions, right? Now this is just associating the existing bank account for our business. Now what we do is, let's go for our receipt class and methods here. Receipt classes and methods. Now I can see that bank account. So the moment when we choose the BU corresponding bank branch, and bank accounts will be populated. Let's choose, and I'm going to say that this is my primary remittance bank account, nothing but a deposit bank account. And we are supposed to configure some accounts here, like we have not done this cash account at bank account level. If you have done that, it will be populated here automatically. Now let me choose this cash account here, and unapplied receipts account, in case if there are any receipts which are not applied, or which account you want to maintain those. Identified receipts here. Receipts. Unearned discount and earned discount. So these two options we already configured in our setups, right? While working with account receivables setups, we already specified here accounting configuration and receivable activities, right? So from there it will be derived. Let's go for save and close. This is how we are supposed to assign our receipt class and method for our business unit. Sometimes we might have created, but we forgot to add this receipt class and methods to our business unit. So that might be the reason we will not be getting this receipt method in our transactions page. So what we are trying to do is now let's test it. We have done that setup. We configured setup successfully, receipt class and methods associating to view. Now we are going for receivables, account receivable. Let's go to task list. We are trying to create a receipt. Actions from the customer, standard receipt, select your business unit. Now I can find the receipt class and method. So this is how we are supposed to do the troubleshooting if there are any setups are missing. So whatever the setups we have done for a particular module, that will be reflected while doing the transactions. So who will do these transactions? Day to day, the finance department, accounting department, whoever is doing, they do it. That is day to day transactions. When they are performing the transactions, if they get any issues like this, they'll raise the ticket, support tickets to the IT, saying that while creating the receipt class or method is not populated. How will you do that? So then we are supposed to do the debugging and verify, is it setup issue or any other transaction issue that we have to verify. And whatever the setups are we have done from AR module, that will be reflected in the transactions like this. And we are going to get a receipt number here, and let's enter the amount here, $1,000. And we got see the remittance bank account, bank branch and account and other information here. And who is the customer? So we already selected the customer name is this, and customer site. Receipt number, I'm going to choose R1. One is the receipt number. And here we are going to add invoice, or we can also go for add here, submit and apply manual. Submit, apply manually. It means manually we are going to choose the invoice number here. add open receivables, enter receipt reference number, nothing but customer invoice number, transaction number, search button. So whatever the amount we have received, $1,000, we are going to apply this here. We got this $1,000 here. We are not going to give any discount to customer here, and any discount or any other options here will be specified here. Let's go for save this. Save. Now we can see that the total 1,000 amount has been applied here, and let's go for create accounts and transfer to GL here. And we created receipt account here, and we already used it directly also. We can find this accounts to GL. In GL module, we can find this is view accounting options here. We can also find here transaction accounts here. This is debit and credit transactions here. And once we do this, let's see this receipts information. R1 is the receipt number here. Let's go for save and close. We can search for the receipt here, manage receipts. What is the receipt number? R1 is the receipt number. Search for receipt number here. It's clear. Status is clear. Go to actions menu, view accounting. As I said, we can see this accounts in GL. Let's see the accounts. Make sure that you got the access to GL roles as well as the data access. Whatever the ledger we are using, make sure that we have the access for that data access. Let's go to journals here. Search for journal here. Manage journals. Which period this accounts done? It's February. Click search button. We can also find the source. We choose the source as receivables. In receivables, again, different categories we have. It comes under receipts category, right? We can choose the category name as receipts. There will be different categories like sales invoice, receipts, and other options. Let's go for receipts. Click search button. Let me check. We can find the transaction here, transaction details. The moment when we click on the amount, I can see the transaction number here, which is receipt created. This is something different. This is our section. receipt number is R. Okay. So this is how we are going to perform. The line description we can find here. This is your transaction number, transaction type, and original transaction date. Nothing but our invoice, customer transaction. This is how we are supposed to resolve the issues when we get, like we have seen in that session, receipt class and methods and business unit, bank account, other options here it is. Okay. This is very common. This type of support issues we'll be getting in our support projects. Of course, when we are doing an implementation, we have to do it properly in a direct. We have a couple of business units, won't be any setup issues. But when we have a lot of business units, like more multi business units when we have, then it's a problem. So that time, some of the things might be missing that we are supposed to verify and go ahead with that. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Any inputs here? Any doubts on this? Yes, you can unmute yourself now. Yes.
Yeah, so Chandra, I have only one doubt. The receipt class and receipt method. So when we said that remittance method, no, and it is direct, that means that we are assuming that it is a cash deposit,
Yes.
which is happening automatically.
Yes.